Oh, guess what? It's Sunday night, and yes, we're live on Facebook, and we're in the cabin. Mike made it from up north.
Yeah, I got back, man.
A little wet.
Yeah, I got my tail soaked this morning.
Well, it's not my fault you didn't look at the weather.
Hey, but I enjoyed we needed the rain. Got the food plots in and everything. So
just give us a few minutes here. We'll get our shares and Facebook up and running here. This is going to be a fun night.
I am really looking forward to tonight's show. Actually, we've got the guys from Rut and River Pursuits on. Say hi, guys. We're on Facebook Live.
Hey Facebook.
You guys feel free to start sharing whenever you'd like on your side here. We'll get your fans and our fans together, and we'll rock this out tonight. So it'll be just a few seconds here, and we'll get recording and sit down and have some fun. What's the weather like over in PA right now?
It's actually back to being nice. It was way too hot, way too quick for a couple days.
Did it mess you guys' birds up?
What's that?
Did it mess you guys' birds up? For your turkey hunting?
They've been messed up all season, so it didn't hurt them, I don't think.
Our birds were messed up a month before the season started.
Right.
Right.
I hear you. Okay, 1 second here.
When you have 80-degree days in February.
Yeah, wasn't that crazy?
Uh-huh.
Hey, anybody out there on Facebook, remember, post questions. You got any questions here for us or for the guys from Rut and River? Post them there, and we'll catch them in the breaker as we go along, and we'll throw them at them. See if we can get them answered for you.
All right. Who's Leanna belong to?
That's mine, I believe.
Okay.
I believe Bill belongs to her, actually.
That's Will's boss.
Well put.
Billy Hoffman says hi.
Yeah, he's one of the guys here from OPC. He's got a show on OPC, Hoffman's Hunting Heritage Outdoors. He just joined us here last month or so, right after you guys joined.
Leanne's already cracking up.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Gotta like that. Okay, we're getting closer, guys.
Wait,
There's two. One more, and I'm ready to rock.
You'll be able to roll the comments, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got some comments.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
Because...
Hey, Billy, that's awesome. It got a lot of birds out there.
I think Dave Hamady said something, but I already missed it.
Okay, I'll catch him here in just a second.
Something about got your fields planted or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, Dave, I didn't plant your fields. I planted my field. Man, I took Dave turkey hunting, and now he wants me to plant these fields. I tell you what kind of better friend you got than that?
All right.
It should be my friend.
But yeah, I did see those birds that we were on the other day, though. Turkeys are still up there. Okay, you guys ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Danny, you ready?
Born ready.
Okay, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin on a Sunday night, ready to rock. We got some good guests tonight. Dan, what's going on?
Hey, you survived up north.
I did survive, man. We put a lot of work in, and we're going to save that for another episode.
But you're not going to hear it tonight, that's for sure.
No, but we were
And I was shooting some black eagles today and yesterday, the day before.
You know, you shoot eagles, man. Those get you put in jail.
No, black eagles.
Oh, the
I
arrows.
didn't say bald eagles.
Okay.
The arrows.
I seen 2 of those this week.
Did you?
Actually, this weekend. Yeah, I seen one today coming home, and I seen another one last night. So it's always good to see.
But yep, ready for the upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
Head to the cabin, open that baby up.
All right. So we're ready to rock. Memorial Day weekend's coming up here real quick.
Absolutely.
Well, let's not waste any more time. We got the guys from Rut and River Pursuits online tonight. Guys, how's it going?
Awesome.
Fantastic,
Real good.
guys.
Got 3 guys from that team of, is it 8? Is that right?
That's correct.
8 guys, man. I've been listening to you guys now over on the Outdoor Podcast channel, who we're a part of as well. And I tell you what, man, I don't know how you guys put 8 guys in a room together and make this work, but you guys do. You guys are show. It's incredible, man. Like I told you in the pre-show here, if I'd have been drinking something, I was driving down the road this weekend, I'd have spit all over the windshield. I mean, some of the stuff you guys say and do is just incredible. I really.
That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. It's a little bit of a circus, and I think the best part about it right now is that we're not live.
You think you might get in a little trouble?
Oh no, my editing game is strong.
Okay.
Well, your editing game and Facebook Live is going to be tested tonight.
Well, I tell you what, you guys need to put out the best of your outtakes. Then I got to tell you what, it's good stuff.
They are comical.
Actually, we've just started receiving outtakes while Will is optimizing these shows, and we get them privately, and it has been some definitely some spit taking going on there for sure.
That's good stuff, man. I tell you, I don't know which episode that I've listened to so far has been the best. I mean, you guys have talked about Ronald Reagan. You've talked about the camaraderie of you guys together. I think Phil, it was your episode where we got to know you a little bit. I mean, and that was a strong episode. I really liked to listen to the background, how you guys all integrate and work together. But stepping back just a little bit, how did Rutten River Pursuits? How did this all start?
So it's been a long time in the making. So we started out as Posted Outdoors, and one of the things that we concentrated on was video. I mean, we tried to jump in just like everyone else at the, we got into the video game, and we tried to be as competitive as we could. That's a rat race, a whole other thing unto itself. And some people did it. Some people, like, the worst part about it is the hunt. We have a couple really strong hunters, and we have a couple videographers, and they were never at the same place at the same time. So
I know how that works.
Everybody wants to hunt. Nobody wants to be the filmer.
Yeah. And then there's a big thing, too. I mean, you get a little bit of a group together, and it just seems like, you walk around the shows and things like that, or even Bass Pro, and you see guys with their hats on and in their hoodies, and you still don't know what they are or what they do. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big part for us. And so that process took the better part of 10 years of what we, to become what we are now. And we kind of tapered off on the filming. We can still do it. We're 4K compliant. We have all the toys, and but we switched to. I wanted to do a podcast forever, and it just
about a year ago.
Yeah, we rebranded and turned it up. We launched in October.
Yeah, it was October of this past fall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you joined OPC. I want to say, was that in March or April?
I think it was around March time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right after Great American Outdoor Show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a handful that we didn't post on OPC. So, I mean, some of the people that follow us on OPC, jump over and grab those old episodes. But yeah, I mean, we kind of, it was right after the Carrie Zilka episode that we kind of jumped.
That was your first one, I believe, with us, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So
which, she's a riot.
Oh, I've known her for probably 7-8 years now, and did you guys get an opportunity to meet her face to face at ATA?
No, no. Like I said, I tried to, seek out some people, and it just, I was grossly unsuccessful.
Yeah, that show can be a little overwhelming. It hits hard and hits fast, and before you know it, it's over with, and you're on your way home. So, but looking back 10 years, man, that's kind of about the time we started, and when we started our podcast, actually. But what made you want to get into podcasting? I mean, what was that motivating or driving factor for you that said, hey, this is something that we got to do?
Other than I just thought my guys make our guys, our group, I just laugh, and we cover the gamut, from like Ryan can say. I mean, there's an expert pretty much in every category. Right. There's a new guy in every category.
And that's really, I think, to just go back to the other question, that's how we make that work. With the 8 guys sitting around a table, how do we make it work? It's because it doesn't matter what we're talking about in a given moment. There's someone at every stage of the game on that particular topic sitting around the table. We've got somebody who's never done it, all the way up to somebody who's an absolute expert and knows everything about it.
So you got 8 guys sitting around a table. You're all, and if somebody says bear spear a fishing, what's that mean?
That was bear fishing.
Huh?
In Canada.
You've never been bear fishing?
He's been bear doing other things, I think, but not bear fishing.
Yeah, actually, it's a run-on joke for us.
I can tell. I got that hint when I saw it pop up here. I said, I don't know how am I going to fit this one in.
Oh man!
And a shot.
Yeah, it's on the comment. Yeah, no. So I told
Somebody's telling secrets out there.
Yeah.
I told the border guard, going into Canada that, he asked why we're here, and why we're going to Canada. And,
Oh no!
oh yeah, we're bear fishing. And we were bear hunting, and we had our fly rods. It just all came out. And he said, "Bear fishing, eh?" And I wanted to say, "You heard me,"
But instead you said,
but I was just, he was just
sorry, I'm nervous.
yeah, he was just like, "Can you kindly pull over here?"
Oh.
Everybody step out of the vehicle.
Bear fishing.
Have all your papers in order. Yeah, that's one place I found that you slip up the wrong way. You're trying to have fun, man, but it can get you in trouble quick.
Yeah.
That was just nervous. I don't cross the border very often, and I was just like, my stumbling over words. Words are hard.
We haven't even thought of even flying as a group.
Oh,
Dude, I don't
Lord.
think we could pass TSA.
Right.
I tell you what, especially if you guys are carrying any camera gear over there, and I know it got Jeff Summers into trouble a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one thing,
Man, they will get after you.
Did they hassle you at all about taking any camera gear or anything like that? Was your vehicle all logoed up with your R2 decals?
No, actually.
Good call.
Yeah, we were actually pretty legit, and I'm like pointing out everything that could even be misconstrued as a weapon. I'm like, it's right there. Look at it. Those are nail clippers.
Oh man, you're talking about the what would you call it? You said bear fishing. Somebody threw out a joke on you there, but
Somebody's wife.
yeah, the one that I listened to this week that got me was the chuck it. Chuck and bait, or what did the catfish call it? His term that he uses for that?
Chuck that bugger.
Chuck that bugger. Yeah,
We say that that was from
That was
Carrie's.
Carrie's.
that was Carrie's.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, chuck that bugger."
I was chucking those buggers, eh?
About
Yeah.
spearfish and sturgeon.
Yeah.
That's that
She's
Wisconsin coming out in her. That's what it is.
so
Yeah.
we say that all the time now.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. And the best part about it is every podcast we do, we have a takeaway from it, and it just adds to the next.
It builds. And
Yeah.
By this time next year, we won't have any original content in a new release, a new episode, because we're just going to be, hitting those running jokes from all the previous episodes.
Exactly, and that helps us get our archive downloads up.
There you go.
Nice.
Our fan club will be our 2 insiders because they'll only know inside jokes.
Yep.
So you talk about traveling. You guys travel out of state and do a lot of stuff. I mean, I always hear about going down to Chesapeake and fishing down that way. What do you guys go out of state and do other hunting or fishing anywhere else?
That's the most part is the fishing, gets done out of state. A lot of times we got, we're surrounded. We got Great Lakes to the north and the Chesapeake to the east, Potomac, south. And so that's a really big draw for us. But most of us hunting and stuff is right here in PA.
Okay, right on.
With the fishing though around here, within 2 hours you can be saltwater fishing to fishing the brackish waters of the Chesapeake Bay to up in our area with some of the best trout fishing around and then just regular catfishing out of the river.
Salmon up north.
I mean, within 2 hours you can catch about anything you want.
That's the thing that really intrigued me about what you guys do is the fact that you're so close to Chesapeake. It sounds like you're only 2 or 3 hours away.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
And I don't think of that as Pennsylvania. I'm thinking more like New York, Lake Erie, as the surrounding areas around you guys.
Yeah, we're South Central Pennsylvania, so we're where I live is actually about 20 miles north of the Maryland border.
Okay.
I'm down in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay. So you're down by Catfish.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I just listened to the go-kart episode too. I want to have him on talk just about the go-kart. That to me was hilarious. So now you guys are sponsoring racing, I take it? There are 2 cars? Is that what we heard this is headed?
There's we have a micro sprint that we work with, Brady Gossert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a very cool cat. We've hunted with him several times.
Very cool.
And but they got they're on that. He just started out, and he's got a good buddy that's on the World of Outlaws. So we're pretty small time, but we have a lot of friends.
We're everywhere.
We know a lot of guys.
I listened to that episode too. Oh God, nice. See, I've been following you guys for a little while here. I'm know just enough to be dangerous right now. So,
Oh no.
we got to get you guys over here to do a little hard water fishing. Sounds like you had a tough time doing some ice fishing this year too.
It didn't get cold. We had one day where Stevie got out, and you had to catch it pretty much that morning.
And that was the morning you don't drill 2 holes right close together. You had to be across the lake. He barely had 4 inches, I'd say, to go ice fishing with guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's the old first ice is best ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me throw this out there to you guys, because talking about ice fishing, have you ever slept in an ice shanty and fished?
No, I would love to though.
We got them here in Michigan, a place north of us. We did it. How long ago was that, Danny?
You did that.
5-6 years
Yes,
ago.
let's see, this is 17. Yeah, probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, they're big boxes, and they got bunkhouses built in them, and you fish right through the floor out on the ice.
You literally can lay in bed
And fish.
and lean over the side and fish through the hole in the bottom of the trailer.
All right, you got my attention now.
I mean, you literally don't have to move and fish.
It's pretty
what
cool.
time of year is that?
Well, it's January, February.
January, February is safest. You'll probably have about, if it's a good year, you'll have about 25 to 30 inches of ice you're sitting on top of,
Yeah.
and then a car will go driving by. It's cool.
And then we build fires on the ice too. Campfires.
Yeah, build fires on the ice.
So
That's crazy.
That'd be amazing.
Do they deliver pizza out there too?
They deliver.
Beer too?
Amazon might deliver out there.
They might. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, we'd like to have you guys up for that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
I've never ice fished a day in my life, but I'm in.
Don't threaten us
If I
with
can-
a good time.
If I can fish from my bed,
That's
You're-
heaven, isn't it, man? I mean, it can't get no better than that.
It's pretty cool.
And is that we'll work out the details later. I was just gonna get all Stevie on you guys and start asking all kinds of questions. But yeah, no, that's something we can write on the events calendar here tonight and try and work that out.
Definitely, that'd be a good time. I'll tell you what, we're bumping up here on our first break. We come back. I kind of want to do maybe like a little round table with each one of you and just kind of dig a little bit into your backgrounds and get to know a little bit more about each one of you guys that are with us tonight. So we're going to step outside and we'll be right back after this.
All right.
Okay, guys on Facebook and gals, throw questions at us if you got anything as we save this section off here. Yeah, the
Oh boy, somebody's hijacking you guys. Somebody's asking questions, and somebody's better half is asking questions of where and stuff, and out in North Dakota. Oh boy.
Okay, we'll go down that road.
Actually, Jason's on listening to us from good old Luzerne.
I was just passed through his town this week.
You hear
This
that,
weekend.
Jason?
I was all over that area up there. That'll be explained next week on next week's show, man. This weekend it was a good weekend, man, but it was hard.
Yeah.
There was a lot of problems we had. Not really problems, just obstacles we had to get around for planting this weekend. Seemed like every little thing that could go wrong went wrong. But we have food plots now, so that's good. All right.
Kitchens and stereos and restrooms. Oh my.
There you go.
All right. Ready, Dan?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, second segment of the show. Still sitting here talking with the guys from Rutten River Pursuits podcast.
Start off the second segment. Big shout out to Jason Radecki. He's back on Facebook with us
I think he's
from
been.
Luzerne, Michigan.
I think he's watched every live stream we've done.
I think
he's
has.
on every week, man. I really appreciate it. All right. What were we talking about here in the commercial break, Danny? You said you had some questions that were thrown this way.
Well, actually, Jason added about the ice fishing shanty.
Yeah.
That I guess that they use these very prevalent out in North Dakota, and somebody lived out in North Dakota.
I lived out there for a while.
Okay.
That's Will.
So,
Did
you have any experience with sleeper shanties out there?
No. I traveled as an X-ray tech for a long time, and I lived, took a interventional radiology job, putting in stents and doing stents and angioplasties. But that, so I have a medical background.
Okay.
We didn't talk about that yet, and so I lived out there for a while. I didn't hunt or fish too much. I was coming. I was just traveling. You know, it was just in retrospect, it wasn't until I moved back to PA and got married and that I started to hunt again and fish again. And I grew up doing it, and but I had gotten away from it for a little while.
Well, you had advanced those studies of the cardiovascular system strictly for shot placement.
Right. Yeah, that deer's not going to need a stent when I get done with him.
On the cause of death.
Yeah, that's right. Well, looking back at PA when you're growing up, I take it that's where you cut your teeth out in the woods, so to speak?
Yes, sir. Yeah. South Central Bedford County, mountainous, very mountainous, a lot of farm, rural area.
Okay. Flatland?
Not too much. It's fairly mountainous, Appalachian Mountain.
Okay, so they still get some farm, but it's on the slopes up there, I got to imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of, not necessarily, there's some, there's pasture and this and that, but most of it is really mountainous. And then when you work your way east, then it starts to flatten out a little bit.
Now, what were you going after back then when you were a kid? What were they taking you out to do? Was it deer hunting, turkey hunting?
Yeah, deer hunting, small game. I didn't turkey hunt too much. It was considered highly dangerous at the time. At the time, so I was very young. But
are you a bow hunter, or is it rifle? Or you guys don't use rifles, do you?
Yeah, we're rifles.
They do have rifles, but it's not semi. You guys just had something with semi-autos that you just got passed through, or no? Or we're talking about it?
No, we got it's partial. They wanted the full. It was full Monty, but it was big teeth.
Okay.
But
no semi-automatic rifles, semi-automatic rifles for small game.
Small game.
Nothing for big game.
Gotcha. So back then, you were rifle hunting for deer when you were younger?
Yep. 30-30 was my break-in gun.
The old mule kicker.
Everybody's brush gun.
Yeah.
Well, take us on a hunt that you like. What sticks in your mind growing up as a kid there in PA? That a hunt that you remember that really stands out to you that you always go back to?
I grew up. I had a family on my mother's side just full of hunters and very successful hunters and hardcore. They're still hardcore, and they would just go in the mountain until they came back with a deer, and a lot of them were successful every year, and it was a lot of pressure, being so young and having, these guys to look up to. But a typical hunt, I ended up taking, the first couple years, I'd take a couple does.
Okay.
Wasn't until much later that I had got my first buck. But, the typical hunts, just, like deer drives and sitting in stands or homemade, ground blinds or something like that.
Kind of sounds like what we do here in Michigan. A little of all of it.
Yeah.
What about family traditions with hunting? Anything that sticks in your mind? Like if you were to shoot and like for us as a kid, if you shot and missed a deer, they cut your shirt tail off. You had no seat left.
It was a ribbon. You got really, you definitely got ribbed.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily have to replace the shirt, but
we threaten it every year.
New traditions can always be started.
That's right. What about maybe superstition, a favorite pair of socks, a favorite hunting shirt, a lucky hat, anything like that in your repertoire?
No, not really, not for me.
Just get out and get it.
Catfish has all kinds of them.
But when Catfish calls us and says somebody better be hunting today,
Oh yeah.
he is our lucky charm. He gets a sixth sense about something, guys, and
He'll call in the morning. It's 3 a.m, and he'll be like, I got a good feeling it's gonna come from the west. The deer's gonna come out of the west, so be watching around 9 o'clock.
So he's your farmer's almanac for hunting?
Yeah.
It's even deeper than that. I mean, it's crazy. This year he predicted the buck I shot in archery season. He told me just stick it out. He's coming in from behind you, and out 2 hours later, maybe.
Wow.
We were fishing, and it was we had a pontoon boat, or he had a pontoon boat at the time, rather, and he just out of nowhere goes, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," and we've been catching bass and walleye in this lake, Lake Mead, all day long. There was no catfish, as far as I was concerned. And just out of nowhere, he says, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," and I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes later, I hook up on a catfish. It goes on and on, but I don't know where, how, any of that happens, but it's eerie.
Has he got Native American blood in him by chance? I mean, a lot of Native Americans are really in tune with the outdoors, so maybe there's something going on there with that.
I would have to say there's.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to hone it and really focus his attention so that I could
Touch him,
just check him. I could check with him the night before to see if I could just sleep in. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen tomorrow. Right?
No, not gonna get up today. Catfish said, "Nope, it's not gonna happen. I'm sleeping in."
It's
I'm
amazing.
gonna save that vacation day.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Well, looking back about the women in your family, as far as any women in your family hunt? Sisters? You got your mom, your grandma, anything like that?
Yeah, my mom, she actually hunted later in life.
Okay.
And kind of after all the uncles had faded away. I'm much older now, and I'm hunting again. She started to hunt, and it's funny because she gets like Fred Eichler. I mean, just freaking out, and I'm just like, oh, you gotta calm down. She gets so jacked up. It's pretty cool to see that her going through that level of emotion. But no, and she started later. I don't know. It was maybe 5 years ago. So.
Have you ever been out on a hunt with her and sat in the blind and sat next to her during a hunt?
A handful of times, not as much as I'd like to.
Okay.
Yep. But her and her husband hunt quite a bit, and she's turned into quite the killer, and he's all but a sniper.
A sniper, as in I just lost my thought. That was good. A sniper as to the ability to slaughter stingrays.
Yeah. They play some tricks too, and that there's a little. Where are you getting all this information?
You need to look at the Facebook Live. People are telling us stories on you, man.
I bet you somebody's sitting upstairs just laughing their butt off.
That's great. So yeah, so what happens is
I hear her now, guys.
we'll be setting up on we'll be coming up on a stingray. Captain Mark is awesome. You guys got to come down for that. But we'll be trolling along and we'll see a big stingray. And I've shot stingray before, so I typically try to hold back. But just at some point, I'm like, I'm gonna shoot one too, and we're all 3 or 4 of us are in the front of the boat, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna let's get this thing. It's a big one, so we you want more than one arrow anyway, and we'll count to 3 and. Mom ends up shooting on 2 or something like that.
Oh,
wait.
She jumps the gun, man. Gets the quick draw, huh?
1, 2.
Nice. You gotta like that. Well, now with you and Steve being brothers, is there a competition there between you two that's just unmatched
We're like brothers. We're cousins.
Oh, you're cousins. Okay, I thought you were brothers. Okay, my mistake.
No, it's not a terrible mistake because we're really close. But there is a ton of family competition, and there's just the way misers attack each other. It's not. Other people don't get it.
It's not healthy. We try to tell them that.
Do you set them up for failure?
We don't set each other up for failure, but we let
They'll
each
be the
other
first.
know.
Oh, they chum the water for everybody else.
The truth's starting to come out now.
We definitly make it known that we know what we know.
Okay. Okay. Now he's not here to back me up on this, but or who has the upper hand right now? You or him?
He does.
Why?
I'm just being nice.
He might now. You know, he does. He is the go-getter, the driving force behind the scenes. I think. Administratively,
he'd be this chief operations officer. I mean, he really does a lot of. He's texting me, calling me all the time. What can I do? What's next? I need a project.
He's almost a producer, setting up commercials, getting a guest, keeping all of us clowns in line as far as focused on the same thought. Some of us, like me, are troubled keeping focused. Just one of us just try putting 8 of us on.
I don't know if I'm willing to give Stevie that title, though, because as soon as those mics go live, he's the one that cracks up first. So,
So he's kind of like the principal and the teacher, having to keep all the kids in class under control.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right.
Phil can tickle him sonically.
Oh man, we could go on all night with this.
We could.
This is awesome.
I have to remind him that we're doing a podcast sometimes.
Right.
Yep. Been there.
So is that where the outtakes come from?
Yeah. Stevie and I can go on 10-minute giggle fests, and that's all we do is giggle around and maybe say one word every 2 minutes and giggle harder.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. But I think you talk about that dynamic with 8 people. That's how it works. It's really good to listen to you guys banter back and forth like that. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I knew Catfish. I mean, we kind of grew up since same litter. I mean, we're literally like elementary school buddies, and Sean is another cousin of Stevie and I's.
Okay.
So we're all kind of long time friends, brothers, cousins, and then you throw in Phil and Ryan and Sammy and Kyle, and you've listened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It gets out of hand quick.
It doesn't take long. Usually the open rolls, and all of a sudden they're into it, man. It's good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up on our next break here, so we'll step outside, we'll take a break, and we come back, we'll move along to the next one in line here, so we'll be right back after this. Guys, on Facebook, if you got any more questions, please feel free to, any information for anybody out there that knows these guys, that wants to expose them on Facebook a little more.
We got Brian Pikarowski tuning in from Cedar Springs, Maryland. Says he's a big fan of your guys.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's been a great fan of ours.
I think he's out. He's at his campsite there. I forget what it was, Green Mountain or something, somewhere in Maryland. He's camping.
No, nice.
He may be back though from that. I guess it was a long weekend, but yeah, he's a real deal too. He was out. What was it the other week? He made deer tallow soap.
Yeah,
Nice. That's hardcore right there.
yeah. He's
killing it.
president or some kind of chapter, one of the NWTF chapters in Maryland there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right on. All right.
Let's go on to the next guest of the
Vic.
3.
Okay, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, third segment of the show. Cutting up with the guys from Rotten River.
We can see him on the video.
Yeah, for anybody who's watching the live stream, we keep looking off screens because we can see them. They've got their camera up.
And somebody bailed and ran away in our break.
Yeah,
We should talk about him.
we can. That's okay. What's some good information you got on Phil there? I mean, what does he not want people to know?
Well,
That's just it. I don't think there isn't
yeah,
anything
he's pretty much an open book.
not willing to talk about.
Is he going back over to the workout
He's
room?
ready.
over
Watch.
there?
He's running. He's running. Watch. No, he's running to the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Watch. You gotta watch the. I figured out what things were by what they did.
Okay, he's grabbing a cold one.
Yeah, he's looking for one. Doesn't know what to get yet. Looking up, looking down, looking in.
That or Will took them all.
Now, remind him that we're live. So,
Yeah, but see, nobody can see you guys. We're the ones that can see you.
We can only give play-by-play.
Yeah,
It's to a guy that's lost in the refrigerator.
Oh, only on Facebook can we do this kind of stuff, man. This is good.
this is wonderful.
We'll wait for him to put his headsets back on.
Oh, hey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Hey.
Oh, and Brian says he must have been bird hunting this weekend. He got no birds this weekend, according to Brian.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, it's rough.
But don't let Brian sell himself short. He's killed at least 1 or 2 birds, I think, this year already.
Okay.
I don't know how
He's
many.
a big Maryland hunter, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure what he gets.
I thought he
as far
brought
as
one
limits.
down already.
He's got at least one, yes.
The birds are just getting active up where I hunt up northern Michigan. It's the weather's been really screwy, and this weekend, of course, when I'm up doing food plots, they're screaming their heads off.
And the season's almost over.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, though. But well, Phil, welcome back, man. We see you made the mad dash over there to the fridge, so I guess it's your turn in the hot seat now. So we want to know a little more about you. But we got to watch you run over and get a cold one.
Yeah, a cold monster. I'm behaving myself tonight. It's a school night, guys.
All right, right on. Well, you joined the group, but from what I've gathered from the show so far, you're one of the new guys, kind of learning the ropes of the hunting in the outdoors, so to speak, or no?
I'm the oxymoron. I'm the oldest guy who knows the least.
Okay.
For the most part, I can fish a little bit, but I'm not near the fisherman as Stevie or Catfish would be. I grew up. I'm a Midwest boy. On previous episodes, I've talked about. I born and raised in Illinois, hearts in Missouri. Family's all from Missouri. You know, my mom and dad's side, both sides of my family are out of Missouri, and moved out here and have a family. And now I'm settling in and getting back to all those things that I wanted to do growing up, but never was taught or had time to learn. And I've got 7 best friends now.
7 best friends.
What's that like, wanting to learn something new? I mean, you know, I gauge you're probably a little bit younger than I am. We're not going to mention ages, but I'm just guessing that you're a little younger than I am. And at my age, there's things that I still want to learn about the outdoors, and I just crave it, and I'm just digging into it as hard as I can to put that in my mind. But for you, I mean, you want to do all this. Where do you even start?
I started with small game.
Okay.
Just most kids would do. I do remember being younger and in Missouri and doing some small game hunting, not usually very successful because we didn't have the patience. But again, I mean, we were, 9 years old out there with 410s and 22s all by ourselves. Times have changed.
Well, how about now?
Amen to that.
Now, I started off with small game, when I first moved to Pennsylvania and met my wife and went out with her father and his buddies. And then that kind of died off. And without sounding too romantic, Will came into my life. And just kind of started pulling me in. Hey, what are you doing this weekend, bud? Would you want to come and try to duck hunt?
Yeah.
And they took me once duck hunting, and I've been locked.
On.
It was on. I tell you what, I love shooting those birds, and and we had a horrible season last year, but it's still
What do you like more, shooting the birds or eating the birds?
eating the birds.
They're delicious.
I love to eat duck. And anybody out there that says duck is not good, they have not cooked it right.
Okay.
They haven't had our ducks, I guess.
No.
Let's go down that road then. How do you prepare it?
The general has turned us on to something that we call duck candy, and basically it's duck breast cut down into bite-sized pieces.
Wrapped in bacon.
Well, you got to rub it in a rub like a Paul Prudhomme seafood seasoning or your own rub that you want,
Asian,
and then wrap
spice.
it with bacon. Skewer them up, throw them on a grill, a smoker grill, a Traeger would even be better. right before they come off, you just slather them up with some like duck sauce. I prefer sweet chili sauce for a little bit more of the spicier flavor. They come right off, and you will pop them in. They're like little poppers of protein goodness, guys. I mean,
I knew goodness was going to get in there somehow.
it is.
I hoped he was going to go that direction.
Earth changing, and I can't get enough. And my only regret about last season is I'm not sitting around tonight eating some duck candy.
Oh man, it sounds like we're going to have to send you to a clinic to get you go through a 12-step program to get you off this stuff, man. You love it that much, huh?
Oh, don't do that to me, guys.
Quitters.
Yeah, I don't want to. That's something I don't want to quit there. I do have a fascination with.
We're doing hay this week.
Yeah, we are putting up hay to earn our keep.
To earn our keep at the farm that we hunt on.
Starts on Monday, tomorrow.
You know, that's something you don't hear a lot of anymore. You know, back in the day, you go out and you knock on a door, get permission to hunt a place, and you'd help out the landowner. You know, anymore, it seems like that part of hunting is almost gone. I heard you guys talking about that in an episode a while back, and it just kind of made me think back, you know, in years gone by. That's the way it worked.
And you know what? It still works now. It works for us. I mean, the farmer, I think he looks forward to hunting season as much as we do, because he likes to come down and chat with us, and he loves hay season. We get there and helps. You know, we help him out. He helps us out by letting us hunt, and he gives us a hog at the end of the hay season as well. And you know, it's back to those traditions that go along hand in hand with hunting. Is you're helping out your neighbor.
You're sharing with each other.
Yes, and everything is in a symbiotic state. Everybody is helping everybody else get what they want in life.
Yeah, right on.
Instead of just plopping down the almighty dollar signs and say, hey, I'll charge you X amount for this.
Yeah, how much for the lease? You know,
right?
Exactly, and then when we're there, we might pick up on something else, or hey, do you need help doing that? Yes, he does.
He's great too.
Oh.
I mean, we cut up so much, and you know that could literally be a podcast unto itself. And hard hitting corn talk with Farmer Poor. That's you know.
You never know what it could lead to in a podcast.
And I will say this, since we're kind of on the hay. Last year, Sammy P and I went on a wild hayride, if you will. The tractor, we were pulling out a hay wagon out of the barn, and Sammy was driving the tractor, and I was standing on the yoke to pull the pin once we get over to switch out and get a full hay wagon. Well, weren't we coming out of the barn? And the barns out here are loaded with a ramp, and they usually are built into the side of a hill, so they have a ramp on one side. Mm-hmm. So we're going down this ramp. Sure enough, have you ever seen a tractor axle break while it was in motion?
Oh no!
Ooh,
This thing broke with inside the axle casing itself. I saw the tractor start to tilt. As the tractor's tilting, the wheel, the tire is coming straight for me. I don't know how we didn't roll that thing and how I didn't get hit by that tire.
you were like the Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
There was angels on my shoulders that day, that's for sure. And then 10 minutes later, I fall through the hayloft.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Well, we do have a question for you from Jason. Have you guys ever duck hunted the North Dakota Flyway?
No, well, we had one of our guys at the time last year hunted up there, and he's not with us anymore.
but he did great.
But he did phenomenal. Yeah, he said
That's what Jason said. He says that you got to do it because it's so unbelievable.
Well, Phil, looking back at waterfowling, water or field hunting, what do you prefer?
Oh, I would go back to my roots and what gave me the hunger and the taste, and I would go to field to quail and pheasant if I could. If there was game to shoot them around here. Mm-hmm. So I'm with waterfowl, and I'll take what I can. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit slower. They're easier to shoot than the quail are. That mm-hmm. I kind of started to wet my beak on when I was a young child.
No pun intended.
No, I caught that. See what you did there.
Yeah, I've given the flavor to the want to hunt, the desire to hunt by going down to Southwest Missouri and watching my uncles go out bird hunting in the morning and anticipating them coming back to hear not just the stories, but to stand around and help them clean birds and then fry those birds up and then most of all eat those birds. And all the while we're hearing the hunting stories, and we're hearing stories not just from that day's hunt, but hunts from long ago with my papaw and my great uncles and that the camaraderie and that's what I have the perfect world here with R2 now, because my memories of childhood, I'm doing them now. I'm just doing them with different people than I ever knew that I was going to be doing it with, and like I said, I have 7 best friends because of it.
You think that's what got you into podcasting, is being able to tell those stories like that in that same way, but maybe to let everybody else listen?
Yeah, I've said it. I'm a podcaster first before I'm a hunter. These guys have kind of introduced that to me. I love listening to the story, the and the razzing of the myths and getting razzed myself. These guys dish it out to me pretty well, but the reason why is I probably give it out pretty well to them as well.
You make it pretty easy for us to pick on you.
Yeah. I'm so honest though too, and that's another thing you're not going to find in most hunters. I'll tell you every little fault and every little low that I make. We all do, and that's what makes the successes even more fun to talk about.
Yeah. Well, and that's how you learn too. I mean, if you don't make mistakes, you don't know that you're making a mistake.
Amen. And what a great thing to learn. I mean, being outdoors, hearing things, seeing things, picking up on it's in such a busy world anymore, and it's become a cliche, but it really is nice to step out in the woods and step away from little clingy noises. I used to be a nurse, and that was one of the only places you could get to, and you don't hear beeps and whistles and alarms, and you can get out and hear the real beeps and whistles that your ears are meant to. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's almost like they say the silence is the silence just screams at you, and it really does. It just it makes you alive again. This weekend with me up north working, it was work, but man, God, was it good to get refreshed.
Yeah, amen. And especially when you're trapped in a hospital and they're not the happiest places, guys. And
right.
You get out in
There's
nature,
a lot of humanity.
There's a lot of humanity, and sometimes you need a lot less humanity so you can go back to the humanity and get it done.
Right. I can understand that. Well, looking ahead, what's the one thing in the outdoors that you haven't done yet that you want to do or you want to accomplish?
I want to catch a big old muskie out of the ice, guys. There
you go. Who are you going to ask to help you get that job done out of the crew?
Catfish is an ice fisherman, but none of us are muskie studs. I don't think. I think I might have to outsource to Wisconsin or Michigan or up to Ontario way. I'm starting to gather a few friends that might know what they're doing, and
that's the other reason Phil's here.
Yeah, venture. Let's get it done. Let's get some.
Now, why muskie? What's so intriguing about that fish versus something else?
Growing up in Chicago, hearing that if it wasn't a buck that somebody was talking about, it was their muskie fishing trip. Instead of buck hunting, they were going for muskie that weekend, or it's muskie season. And guys around the Chicago area would flood up to Wisconsin, and it's one of those fish of 1,000 casts. They're huge. They're predators. They're alpha in North America as far as the food chain goes in freshwater, and they're just huge, aggressive fish. And man, just to be able to say, I wouldn't even have to land one right now to get excited. It'd just have one on the line, and I wouldn't even need a 40-incher. I'd take a 20-inch muskie right now and probably just be just as satisfied.
Just get one and get laid into it.
Exactly.
Right on.
Just to feel where, and then to wet my whistle for more. Give me the I want.
So you want to pull one through the ice. Would you fly fish for one?
I'm not a fly fisherman. I could learn. I just haven't. I guess I've not mastered fishing to go that fancy with.
That's Sean. That's Sean Holsinger, our fly fishing guide, and and national fly tyer. But I mean, that the best part about Sean is that we can just show up and he has all the stuff we need.
There you go.
Oh yeah, we don't even have to mess with tying flies.
Well,
That's how I fill my fly box. I go down and visit Sean.
Yeah.
well, if fly fishing's for muskies what you want, we know somebody.
We know somebody. Big toothy creatures is what he knows, and he loves to fly fish for him. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Off the top of the water.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So
You got steel leader on that and everything? How do you fly fish with steel leader?
don't ask me. He does it, not me. I have a cousin that does it, and when you're out on the lake and you see a guy on top of the boat flying a fly fishing rod, you know who it is. There ain't too many people out there doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
the fly on that thing's got to be huge.
It
too.
is. It's a pretty decent size. I've seen
Yeah,
them.
they make them look like I've seen
Small
a
perch.
handful, make them look like mice and all kinds of big furry things. And
You know, like a little poodle. You
Yeah.
throw it out there.
Send all your hate email to Dan DeFaw.
Well, that's no lie. Down on Belle Isle,
Yeah, that's true.
they've had people get their thigh bit from muskie
Yeah.
and
Lose pets.
use pets.
I tell you what, guys, we'll run up here on our last break. We come back.
We got one more person.
One
to go
more,
after.
and then I got some other questions I just kind of want to wrap up the show with. So we're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this. Throw your poodle out there. Jeez, oh, Pete. Now we're getting rid of our pets. Oh, man.
Leanna says, "Sammy, you just missed us talking about your duck candy."
Yeah, Sammy P joined right before that.
he's got a bunch of duck recipes, and they're all just top notch. And my Leanna, she cooks, man.
Oh.
She loves to cook, and that'd be her major alpha hobby. And between some of the guys, I mean, and her, it's a feast around here.
I bet. It's good food, lots of game. Man.
We call it the meat sweats.
Oh, man. Okay, all right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Say by 3,
Got all your drinks?
2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show. And we saved the last segment for the newest of the members of R2 here, Ryan.
That would be me. Yes.
How did you hook up with this wild and crazy bunch?
Well, there is some family relations going, I guess, in there in one way or another. I have a brother-in-law who's married, or my brother-in-law is cousins with Will's wife.
Okay. All right. Shoestring relative.
But that's not the real reason why we have him on. Number one, he's a stone cold killer.
But he's a professional.
Yeah.
He's a professional hitman? All right.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
This is the trust with the nest.
Oh.
We can tell these guys. But no, and he actually is on another podcast, and we call them the Podfathers because they kind of gave us a little bit of a leg up and a start, and and he's been podcasting for for 3 years now. So it was when that position, the 8th spot, came available. It was literally a no-brainer who we wanted.
Thank goodness, because I wasn't going to let you fill it with somebody else.
There you
Being
go.
the professional hitman I am, I was going to take
Maybe, is that how you got the spot? You took the other guy? No, never mind. We won't go there. I'm going to create an opening on this team.
We haven't seen Shane for a while.
Yeah, but Will approached me about this, and like you said, I was or I still am involved with another. It's just a strictly entertainment type podcast. There's really nothing outdoors about it until I give my story about what I've done recently.
Right.
And that's just 4 guys sitting around, pretty much just ribbing each other and having an excuse to drink a beer through the week without getting in trouble by our wives. But Will had this idea with the rebranding. To turn this into the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. So he had approached me about it, and we had him on our other show a couple of times, and we had Catfish on for just a phenomenal episode where he told some just amazing stories. And when they really got to know my love and my passion for the outdoors, like Will said, when the opportunity presented itself, there really was no other option. And thank goodness there wasn't, because, I came in and we've hit the ground running, and I've been loving every minute of it.
Sounds like a natural fit.
I think so.
That's awesome. Well, what's your specialty? I mean, what's your game of choice when you go out and you hit the outdoors?
For me, it's definitely whitetail. I think they try to give everybody a nickname or something like that on the group here. They've been toying around with the bow doctor. I've worked in the archery industry as a bow technician for roughly 22, 23 years at a couple of different bow shops.
Okay, right on.
So, archery is sort of my specialty. I can do what needs to be done to get somebody set up, but it is certainly my weapon of choice. Also, if I didn't have to dust off the rifles to break them out because I didn't fill a tag, I'd be all right.
Amen to that, man. There's something about fall, man. And sitting in a tree with a bow in your hand, it's just magical.
Oh yeah.
So now, speaking of that, do you like to be on the ground, a ground blind, tree stand, stalk style hunt with a bow? What game do you play there?
At this point, just strictly tree stand type hunting. I am trying to become a little more proficient with the recurve, and maybe looking to do some more truly traditional type hunting and do some spot and stalk with the recurve. But for now, it's in a tree stand with my compound.
And what bow do you shoot?
Right now, I'm shooting a Hoyt Maxus. It's about 2 or 3 years old.
Okay. Arrow of choice?
Carbon Express. There
Okay.
is no other, in my opinion.
And broadhead of choice?
Baptistan.
I am one of these old school guys, and people have come into the different shops I've worked in, and I've explained to them from one day to the next. I still shoot a 3-blade fixed blade Muzzy, and if it's for no other reasons, because I have so darn many spare blades for these things that I can't justify the cost of trying anything different.
There you go.
Right on.
Now you sound like Stevie.
It's one of those deals, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their slogan is bad to the bone, and I can honestly tell you, I've run it through a close shoulder and come out the far shoulder, like right into the knuckle, right where you're not supposed to shoot. I wasn't intentionally going for that, but it turns out it was bad to the bone. It blew through both shoulders.
There you go.
I've tried different things, but I always come back to the old standby. If your bow is tuned properly, your bow will shoot a fixed blade broadhead the same way it shoots field tips. You don't have to go with an expandable. Expandables have their place, and there's reasons for them. And there's also pros and cons for everything, right? So
Absolutely.
that's my 2 cents on
That was more like 5 cents, but that's right.
That's good.
that. I also have that habit too. I'm a little long with it.
Well, looking at, let's say, late bow season, and let's say you haven't filled your tag yet, and you're up against the gun, season's getting ready to end.
So this is purely hypothetical.
Hypothetical, yeah. What would you say to somebody out there that's maybe struggling with the same thing? What is your go-to tactic?
What's the doctor's advice?
Yeah. How do you get aggressive to fill that tag?
Well, if we're talking late season or late
bow season, before rifle season.
Well, for Pennsylvania, that late season would actually be comes in after Christmas and runs for about 6 weeks.
Okay, so here we are. It's the bottom of the 9th. You
Yep.
got to give some advice. What are you going to give?
You got to be on food plots late at night. Go to work in the morning, because morning hunts are. I wouldn't bother with them, in my opinion. Most of the spots I've got, or places I know to send people, you're going to be busting out every deer that's out there eating as you're trying to get to where you need to go. So my advice is to get somewhere for an evening hunt and set up on food, as much of it as you can find.
Right on. That's where I've had most of my successes in the evenings. I don't know if early, late season. I find it being better in the evening versus mornings.
I love hunting in the evenings more, but it seems like, especially earlier in the year, I actually have a lot more luck in the mornings.
Right.
I prefer to hunt in the afternoons because I get to sleep in then. But the morning hunts seem to be where I end up being a little more lucky.
Okay, besides your normal equipment you take out for a bow hunt, what's one piece of gear you got to have on you that you won't leave home without as an accessory?
Oh, that is real. Well, I'm going to say
Butt out.
good pair of my butt. my butt out.
That
Nice.
That is an awesome tool.
It's like deer view mirror. I always keep that with me. Did you guys ever see those things, the deer view mirrors?
No.
I don't know if they had those out all the way out there. Anyway, so yeah, I would actually say a good solid pair of optics.
Amen to that.
You know, especially with archery equipment, nobody's got a scope on their. Well, it's not true. People do put scopes on the sights, but
Right.
for the most part, you know, I like to have a nice pair of optics I can see out there good ways, see what's coming in, get a better idea.
Brian agrees with you. Binoculars.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I can't leave home without, that I have to have. So, great choice. So now, talking about your hunting background and everything, let's go back into your early years as a kid. Where did you cut your teeth at?
It was actually north central Pennsylvania. Tioga County is where I grew up hunting. Now, archery being the passion that it is for me is actually something I picked up later in life.
Okay.
I grew up in a family that, you know, everybody hunted. Aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, people next door. You know, everybody hunted. But it was pretty much 2 days of buck season
Okay.
and 2 or 3 days of doe season 2 weeks later. And that's when Pennsylvania had a separate, you know, antler and antlerless season. And that's really all that we hunted. You know, my dad would have us out for different things, and we'd go fishing and a lot of camping, and grew up on a lake water skiing and stuff. But as far as hunting goes, it really was like a 5-day-a-year type thing for me. And where I cut my teeth really was just on those whitetails up in Tioga County, my uncle's farm, putting on deer drives from sunup to sundown. I honestly believe I was probably 17 or 18 years old before I ever saw a deer in the woods that wasn't at a full-out run.
No kidding.
Yeah, we used to actually practice. You know, we'd get up there the Saturday before the opening day of buck season, and we would practice by putting a big section of like plywood, wedge it in an old tractor tire,
Right.
and we would actually roll it down a hill and take shots at this tire as it was rolling down the hill.
That's way more than I ever practiced.
Yeah,
Practice your running
because
shots.
honestly, we were shooting at deer that were at a full-out run.
Yeah.
And like I said, 17 or 18 till I saw a deer that wasn't running. I filled tags every year. I'll tell you that story of the first deer I ever killed, which took about 18 shots, but that's a different story.
You know, that's something that, you know, here in Michigan, we don't, at least where I hunt, we don't see a lot of that, deer drives.
Yeah, it's not really. It's more. It might be more in the south.
Yeah, I did that as a kid down south.
We've done it up north, but it's so much. It's so big a country out there. You gotta have enough people to do it,
Right.
especially in the UP. I mean, it's just not. You can't just go mile road to mile road or whatever, road to road.
Right.
You can walk for a long time.
Right.
So
Yeah, you can get away with organizing some smaller pushes. You know, some things that would be. You could definitely have some success with it, trying to push the deer around and get them moving. But for the most part, if you don't have 25 to, I think in Pennsylvania you're only supposed to have 25 guys, but they should come check the Amish upstate where I'm at now.
Right.
Definitely more than 25 involved with that organized hunt. But you know, if you can't get at least that many people involved, it's just in the big woods, it ain't gonna work.
it's tough. Yeah, see the guy up in the UP.
They
They
run back in between the drivers. It doesn't work.
right up in the UP. They get person I know that does it. They get a few camps together to do it jointly.
Okay.
You just can't do it. You know, 4 people doesn't work well.
You know, and that's what's so cool talking to people from different parts of the United States is the way people hunt. It's so drastically different from one state to the other, or even one section of the state to the
Yep.
other. It's definitely eye-opening to the way other people hunt. Well, guys, it's been awesome having you guys on, but I kind of want to look ahead a little bit. What's in store for Rut and River looking ahead? I mean, what do you guys think this is going to go?
So we're just gonna. I mean, we have a. We just feel like we don't need to do much more than what we're doing to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything that we do is gravy, and we're and having so much fun doing it. I mean, we have 8 guys for content and all these things. So we're just doing what we're doing. That's baseline. But where we want to go, I don't know. We don't know what that is, but we're
Just riding it right now.
Just doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
shows and
We're like a shark as long as we're swimming. You know, we're doing something. We're staying alive. We love what we're doing. Hey, where it takes us, you know, who knows?
I mean,
we'll take it for a ride. But
just sitting right here, we've got a list of our show schedule. We've got an event schedule also, and things are booked solid. I know you guys have got a peacock bass thing coming up. You're heading down to Florida for. And like you said, we're putting up hay because duck season is going to be here before we know it. Everybody's shooting the bows. I mean, all we're doing is continuing to do the same stuff we would have done this time last year.
Right.
Only get to tell everybody about it.
You get to tell everybody. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's one thing what Danny and I have talked about is, you know, you look at your schedule ahead and you think, hey, summer's here, we're going to get to relax. No. You got show seasons, you got other events that you're doing and things like that. It's just, you know, doing this stuff, but that's all part of it, and it's the part we enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
And I think the big part is of what we want is, you know, and kind of echoed this from our Great American Outdoor Show experiences. And I told the guys, I mean, there's everybody, who's who is there, and but I just said, can we just grab a handful of just quality interactions with with people, we like solid contacts that we can just, you know,
that was
cultivate
one day there.
Well, I mean, one day that was overwhelming for us. I never dreamed that I figured we'd have 5 people that want to talk to us and this, but we got.
Guys, we've been humbled since we've started in October. We've really only been up and going for 6 solid months. We're episode 45, I think we just dropped yesterday, but every step of the way it was pinching ourselves. Did that just really happen? Are we doing this? This is happening here. I never thought I'd get 5 downloads on my episode. And I truly am humbled, and I'm humbled by all these guys that sit around this table and really what we're doing and how we've been received by the outdoor community.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, I just hope we keep doing what everybody likes, and that's being us.
Yeah. And to Will's point, if we can just continue to make those actual solid connections, you know,
right.
We're necessarily talking to people just to talk to people to promote something. We're actually talking to people because we want to talk to them.
Absolutely.
And we'll tell you two guys right now on the Up North Journal the same thing we tell almost everybody at this point that we talk to. You just made 8 new best friends.
Amen.
Well, I know you guys make me laugh, and that to me is I almost feel like I know you guys from listening to the episodes I have. So there's a camaraderie there, and I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the last hour here, you know. But you know, Phil, going back to what you were just saying, talking about sharing those stories, I think that's what makes podcasting so maybe unique, but yet still so cool, is the fact that we get to share it. And I think people really do clamor and listen for those types of stories because we're so busy anymore that there's not many hunters out there that are sharing their stories anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely. And in this world of electronics, we have YouTube, we have Instagrams, we have podcasts. But the thing about the podcast is we're hearkening back now to radio days, to where storytelling is becoming important again.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's what lit my fire, my interest to hunt, was the stories that it generated. You gather just as much experience out in the field as you do back in from the field and now around our sonic campfire here.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we find now is if you talk to somebody, it's the typical, you get the typical saw big buck, hunt big buck, shot big buck, got big buck. Well, we don't want, everybody does, everybody hears that, but tell us the fringe stuff, the story behind the scenes, what the people, don't get to hear, pull that out of them, and then you listen to that, and it might be because the one that he used the crossbow,
the guy
down in Ohio
at Columbus, yeah.
He used a used crossbow from a mentor, and you don't hear that story, but that's sitting around a campfire. That's what you pull out of people.
Yeah, and you're right. It's been so produced. I mean, the process of hunting on TV and other things have been so produced and so edited down and sterilized you see the deer coming in, he shoots it, they recover it, and that's it.
Wait, you forgot the commercial before he shot it.
Right,
Yeah. And that's not it. That's not even close to how hunting is and what, so I don't know if we can just kind of just shed a little bit more light onto how what we do. The fun part is that we have a lot of people. I would say we have quite a few people that don't hunt, that just love that little glimpse into our lifestyles, and
that's been the fun part for me. Coming over from that, just purely entertainment podcast, I was able to, bring a handful of folks over, be it a small handful. It was a handful of folks over that really don't have a hunting and fishing and outdoors background, and they really get an understanding. And I've had personal conversations now with a few of these folks. They may not ever join us in the field, but they love the idea of hunting and fishing and being in the outdoors now, based on the way they hear us talk about these things.
A lot more acceptance.
Have you guys had anybody text you or email you or approach you and say that because they've listened to you, they've now taken up hunting or fishing or something like that?
We're just starting to get some stuff coming in like that.
Ken picked up some turkey calls early this spring.
Did he?
Yep, he sure did.
Absolutely, and a handful of our friends are picking up bows.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the cool part, is that
That's awesome.
they're buying bows. They're picking up. They want to, they want to schedule. Yeah, right. They want to schedule time with Ryan, or they take me to the Kinseys or Bass Pro and tell me what I need. There's a lot of that kind of popping up all over left and right. So that's great.
That is good news. That's awesome news. Making new hunters. Well, Danny and I last week were at Cabela's working, and this lady walked into the store, never shot a bow in her life. And by the end of the day, we had her shooting, and she's gonna be a target shooter. That's what she wants to do. But it makes you feel so doggone good that you actually helped somebody and started and lit a fire under them to get them into something they want to do. There's no feeling like it in the world.
I heard that she hit the balloon too, which is fantastic.
I listened to that episode too. Didn't she drive 150 miles out of town?
Yeah.
Yeah. She wanted to drive somewhere where she wouldn't be recognized or know anybody she was going to know.
Actually, she pulled me aside later and said the reason she came up was to see Danny. She wanted to see Danny personally. So
Nice.
We hear that a lot about Sammy P as well.
He gets a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, one last question before we let you guys go tonight. Where did you come up with the name Rut and River Pursuits? I want to know a little backstory on that. How did you become that?
I wish I'm going to distill it down because it's the last question. So when we rebranded, which is a mouthful for me, when we rebranded, it was the most dramatic, life-changing thing we've done in a long time. Everybody has an input. And we have a text thread, and this thing every day was full of names and just and I think we were working on a food plot behind Phil's place, and finally this we got the craps of this process, and Catfish is like, we're taking a break, and he says, I want to just take some time, sit here, lay down, close your eyes. It
was like Catfish yoga.
So he finally is like, let's just let the wind tell us what we need, or what. I don't even remember exactly what happened, and it was so funny because Sammy's like, oh, I'm getting a new lift or something like that. And we just, we snapped at Sammy. Come on, let's figure this out. He wasn't tuned in to what we were trying to do. But what happened is, shortly after that, Catfish actually came up with the name Rotten River. And it was the only thing that really, truly encompassed everything that we did.
Covered it all.
Right. There was a lot of names out there, and I can tell you, We probably even had Up North Journal at one point.
It's tough though, because you want something that's unique, but yet still that fits you. And when you're branded something, it's important stuff.
Yeah, it was really, really, and then and the logo and everything just kind of just fell into place right after that, and it the R2 little that kind of like little nickname we just
came up with, and then as soon as that happened, we started practicing podcasting. I mean, I think that's the big secret that I'm letting out right now that I don't think many people out there know, that we went 3 months of just recording podcasts that aren't even out there.
No kidding.
Yeah, because we wanted to, when we came out, we didn't really want to sound like rookies. Even though we did, you can go back and listen to us.
It doesn't
you can hear
quite sound the way.
Progression, but
I was practicing for 3 years, hoping you guys would ask me to come hang out.
but we really, because we figured, there's a lot of outdoor podcasts out there coming out, and we need to set ourselves different and try to and to always aim high, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, we definitely recognized. We didn't have any big names or big companies supporting us, and so how do you put your best foot forward? And
right,
we got a really real sense that we just needed to be us.
That's the most important. Be genuine.
If you're not yourself, I think people can hear that, and it comes off pretty quick. So,
yeah.
And that's what makes you guys roll so well, I think, is that you can tell that you guys are genuine.
Yeah, there was several challenges to rebrand. Lots of very influential people in our lives saying, what is Posted Outdoors and what is this? And we cut a couple people and we gained a couple people. And it was a hard process, It
is.
It was a hard look into what was real and what needed to happen.
Well, it's been the 6 months that you guys have been on, what I've listened to, man, it's been a good run, and I just expect it's going to get a lot better. You guys are already awesome, so it's been a pleasure to have you guys on.
Mike, stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
You're going to make me cry.
You want a tissue?
Promised us you wouldn't make us cry on this interview.
Well, I'm sorry.
Use Phil's shirt.
And by the way,
out of all of us guys,
it's
going to be one. So
the imitation of catfish, that's pretty good.
Oh, we all do a little bit. Everybody does a catfish, But
Morning, I don't mean to correct you boys, but there's actually 2 impressions of catfish tonight.
Oh,
does he do all your commercials too?
No.
Sounds like he's got the voice for it.
When we talk about checking for ticks, we're really not checking for ticks.
Oh man,
he's a magical man. Just alpha male. Love having him around. We could definitely exploit all his talents but the one thing we try to do is just spread it around and challenge everybody. It's not comfortable. This is a really, you get to see a lot of who you are and where you need to grow, and it's firsthand growth process through the whole thing. But we try to include everybody the best we can.
There you go.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, boys, we're running a little long here in the tooth, so we're gonna wrap up the show. But once again, thanks for sitting down with us tonight and talking with us and letting us look into your lives a little bit. And next January, February, get a hold of us, man. Let's try to plan something and get up and go sleep on the ice.
Alrighty, Mike.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it,
Mike.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Hey, not a problem. And where can everybody hear your show at?
At RuttenRiverPursuits.com.
We're on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher,
Castbox. Yeah. Catch us all on Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter.
Just find Rutten River Pursuits, and then follow us individually too, especially on Instagram, because there's all kinds of stuff going on.
R2 Pursuits would be at R2 Pursuits is our Instagram page.
Right on. Okay, and over at the OPC as well, Outdoor Podcast Channel.
Yep, absolutely.
Right,
all right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Hang on just 1 second here. as far as everything on the feed, everybody else, we asked her all the questions they had for them there.
Yep.
We're still live, by the way.
Yep. I think we're on good.
All right, guys. Like I said, man, thanks for joining us. It was our pleasure having you on, and anytime you want us to help you out with anything, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. We're going to have you guys on one of ours. It's going to be good stuff.
Amen.
Hey, Will, before I let you go, did I hear something about you falling in and losing a phone or something? Sorry, man. I had to throw that at you. I think it was your cousin that told me about that.
Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, we got new kayaks and we just set them up. I actually did a whole podcast on just this event, so it's we'll be putting that out soon.
Isn't that a riot when you can have an event happen and you pull off a whole podcast on it?
Yeah. Oh, it's magical. But we got new kayaks, and we're setting them up for catfishing. And it's just something that we have kind of unique to us. Not unique to, but the Susquehanna River is full of big flatties and stuff. And so we're trying to set them up, and we're really getting creative with what we need and what we have. And I just...
Should give it a test run, right?
We got a little
test run.
Yeah, got a little top heavy, and
No, look out!
and it was the smoothest, slowest. There's nothing I could do.
Slow motion as you're going through it. Oh,
And I lost. Not only did I lose my phone, but I lost Catfish's as well because I was watching the deeper system on his phone,
Oh, no.
and so. We spent the rest of the morning at Verizon on Mother's Day.
And you bought two
Catfish
phones?
got Mother's Day present.
So you wound up buying two phones, right?
He was due for an upgrade, so I lucked out.
Yeah.
I was totally lucked out.
You're lucky, son. I need an upgrade.
New phone.
Actually, it was two phones.
We've seen a couple of those go down an ice hole before, too, so
I bought all his accessories out of guilt.
nice.
I want a Bluetooth. No. Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it here, so you guys have a good one, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you, man.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work, too. It's
Thanks,
awesome.
man. You too. All right.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Was that not a great podcast? See you guys see you in 2 weeks.